The world needs to slash greenhouse gas emissions, and it needs to do it now. And that is our top focus today on WION's Climate Tracker with me, Priyanka Sharma. A landmark United Nations report says that removing carbon dioxide from air and the oceans to avoid a climate catastrophe is no longer optional. For years, the removal of carbon dioxide has been seen as marginal or an industry ploy to avoid curbing emissions. But today, the United Nations says it is a necessary weapon in the battle against global warming. The Paris Agreement calls for capping global warming below 2 degrees Celsius, and most countries have signed on for a more ambitious limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius. But even under the most aggressive carbon-cutting scenarios, several billion tons of carbon dioxide will need to be extracted each year from the atmosphere by 2050, and an accumulated total of hundreds of billions of tons by 2100. In some sectors, such as aviation, shipping and cement, emissions are hard to abate, and the removal of carbon dioxide from air and oceans will compensate for these sectors. Carbon dioxide removal may be needed to cool the Earth's surface. In the Paris Treaty, temperature targets are breached. Drawing down carbon pollution remains the absolute priority for countries, and there are a variety of ways of achieving negative emissions. Efforts need to be sharply ramped up to significantly make a dent in the approximately 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide currently emitted every year. Several IPCC models laying out pathways for a livable future reserve an important role for technology known as BECCS, or BECCS, or bioenergy with carbon capture and storage. Now, under this technology, trees are grown, burnt for energy, and carbon dioxide emitted is buried underground. The IPCC says that by 2050, this technology could be called upon to extract just under 3 billion tons of CO2 per year. Afforestation, reforestation and soil conservation are other ways, but what works on paper has not materialized in reality. One of the few commercial-scale technology facilities in Britain that do this were dropped last year from Clean Energy Index because it failed to meet the sustainability criteria. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.